guys, JackelWolf here, coming at you on a rainy Wednesday evening. It is May 8th. I'm a little behind. I don't know if you've seen some of the previous videos, but we are a little behind getting the garden ready. I do want to plant out some of my carrot seeds on this weekend, so I thought I would do something to give them a little bit of a boost. This is something I've done in the past with things like tomato and pepper seeds. I have done it with carrot seeds and onion seeds before. So I'm going to try it again this year just to see if I can't recoup a little bit of time. Basically, carrot seeds need to stay moist for a very, very long time, and a little bit of dryness will go a long way to just ruining the seeds completely. So I want to give them a couple of days to soak nice and well before I go and plant them outside. But I don't want to leave them in something that's just absolutely soaking wet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place them on a wet piece of paper towel, and I'm going to place them inside of a plastic bag. And this will just maintain a little bit of moisture for a couple of days. And like I said, hopefully give them a little bit of a boost. I don't want to do it too long, because if they start to sprout inside the paper towel, then it is a lot harder to move them out into the garden. So basically what I do, now the half paper towels I find work the best with the sandwich bags. You can use a bigger piece of paper towel. I've seen people that do it with toilet paper. They sort of make their own seed tape, would be a way of talking about it. But I've done this one in the past, so I think it is a good place to start. So I'm going to start with the purple haze carrots. Basically what I do is I just get the paper towel just a little wet, just so the seeds will stick to it. And this will let me gauge how much water I'm going to need into the packet. Just going to dribble that on here. Now that will soak out a little bit. Open up the seeds. Now I'm debating, because I don't have as much space this year as I have previous years, whether I'm going to plant all the seeds out. So I'm probably going to do about half my packet pre-done, and then I can add some extra seeds out there if I feel I've got a little bit of space. So we're just going to place these on here. I'm not too worried about the spacing because I'm probably going to take them off with the paper towel. I'll try switching hands, maybe it might be easier to see. But I'm probably going to speed this up a little bit so you can see the full process. Alright guys, so that was pretty straightforward. We're just going to label these. So that's Nantes, Denver's. I can't really read my writing there. And Purple Haze. Now, one other thing to keep in mind is you don't want to close the bags the whole way. You want to leave probably about half of it open. It'll keep the moisture in for a couple of days, but it'll also let it breathe. If I was germinating these fully, like if it was a tomato or a pepper, I would be, checking these every couple of days to make sure they were still moist. And then once it started forming roots, I would transplant it. Oops, shaking the table there. But because I don't want these to actually sprout roots, I'm heavily reliant on the weather being good on the weekend. It looks like it's going to be, so I'm pretty confident I'll be able to get out there before these actually start to sprout and get them into the garden. One other thing I want to cover, again, because I am more than a little behind, I should have done this particular thing a couple of weeks ago, but I want to start chitting my seed potatoes. So I got two different types of potatoes this year. I got vintage. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. I'm not too sure. I have grown these ones before. They are quite nice. As you can see, these are already kind of starting to sprout, but they're sprouting because of the dark. We want them to sprout a little bit because of the light. We should be seeing almost a leaf on there. So I'm just going to take these. I'm going to place them out. I think I'm not going to have as many potatoes as I would like this year because of space. So I'm not even going to bother splitting them off. But what I can do is I'm going to leave about 3 or 4 of these shoots on. I'm just going to take off any of these low ones. And that's going to encourage a little bit more growth. I'm going to leave 3 on that one. Big ones as well. We got 1, 2, 3. So we'll take off these bottom ones. Now I've also got this year, which is the red Pontiac. And they're basically a red potato instead of I don't know if you can actually see that. They're a red potato. So I'm going to do the same thing with those, and we'll be back in a second. One thing I forgot to mention is that there's 2 sides of a potato. You might not be able to see it on here, but there's a little bit of a stem. This would be where this potato connected to the root of its parent plant. And then there's the other side of it, which has usually got the most eyes. It's the side with the eyes that we want pointing up when we plant it. That's why I'm taking off all these bottom little shoots there. I think that one's going to be okay. If I had more time, I would probably take all of these off and let it sprout new ones. But again, we are running a little bit late, so I'm not going to bother with that this year. Here's a good example. You can see where there's a little bit of stem left on this one. That's just sort of connecting into that. It's not an actual eye. It's almost like a belly button on the potatoes. So. Okay, so that's going to be it, guys. That is a little bit of seed prep as well as chitting potatoes. Hopefully the weather's going to cooperate. I'll be able to get these out on the weekend. Normally, with the potatoes, I would have done this probably about 2 weeks ago, and they would have been sitting in the sunlight for those 2 weeks, and they'd be ready to plant outside. There's debate on whether it's necessary or not. I've had success both ways. But it's something I like to do if I've got time. So I'm glad we got at least a little bit of time for this, and then hopefully soaking the seeds will help us as well, and we'll see how it goes. So thanks for joining me, guys. Please leave a like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at JackelWolf, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye!